intelligent inquiries create the opportunity for Krishna to offer answers that can solve life's most profound mysteries like that. So Krishna, because we have many questions, these are mysteries. Even the most profound mysteries can be sorted out by Krishna. So Krishna begins by first defining what is Chitra and Chitragyan. So in these are in chapters 8 through 12. So not going to read so much the chapters today because I'm going to focus a little more time answering questions because I think it's very important, because this is in some ways, a very heavy chapter, very heavy chapter. It's not easy to understand this chapter, and Krishna will explain why. And so, whatever questions that arise, because very technical subject matters are discussed here in this chapter. So in verses 8 through 12, those 5 verses, Krishna discusses the items of knowledge. So these verses describe how the Kshetragya, or the spirit soul, that's the Kshetragya, can disentangle himself from the body. The body is the Kshetra. The knower of the body is the soul, and the body, there are 2 knowers in the body. The knower of the soul, knower of the body is the soul, and the knower of all bodies is the super soul, like that. And super soul is one, same super soul in everybody. That's why we have to learn to work with everybody, respect everybody. We figure out things with everybody because the soul, super soul, is with everybody, and that super soul is the representative of Krishna, who himself describes himself as the best lover of that living entity. So you can imagine how we have to deal with others. So, again, these verses, like I said, describe how the spirit soul can disentangle himself or herself. It's really herself. The spirit soul is her. Can disentangle from the body, cultivating knowledge, which is jnana. So since true knowledge is revealed in the heart of a deserving person, this is very key to understand this. True knowledge is revealed in the heart of a deserving person. The real method, therefore, of acquiring knowledge is by cultivating divine qualities. Not how in this school we say by studying and reading and cramming, answering questions, and studying by heart and answering questions, and being a first-class student because you can remember things by heart and things like that. Some of us, because at universities, it got pretty difficult. Particularly at university, I went to Auckland University. I was studying law, and at that time there were too many lawyers in New Zealand, so they decided that they wanted to reduce the number of students coming out of university. So literally, of every 100 students who first started in law school, in the final year, 1 or 2 of them would graduate. So they made it very difficult, So we used very powerful techniques of learning. We really studied that, how to study, properly. And one of the techniques was what they call a photographic memory. So what we would do is, any difficult subject matter, we photograph the page in our memory, keep that page open when you go to the class, to the exam hall, we would sort of photographically read that page, like that. It's not easy to do, but those are things we have to learn how to do so that we can become an attorney, how we can qualify and pass the exams, like that. So this is not the way. This is actually not the way. The way is actually by cultivating divine qualities, of which humility is foremost. Why? Because we have to understand, when we came to this material world, we are fallen souls. This material world is we've already seen in the past chapters, a pretty miserable place. It's like I was describing yesterday. If you combine the intensive care unit of a hospital with the highest, security prison, and the worst type of mental hospital, where they really, strap you down because you're really bad mental patient, so they strap you down. You combine these 3 bad things together, and that's the definition of the material world. That's pretty much what it is. Dosha Nideraja is described like that. So we can see we have to be a little humble. You want to get out, but you got to be humble, right? When you're strapped down, what can you do? You can't do anything. The doctor is going to have to work on you, and then what can you do? And if you refuse, then it'll get very bad, and then you won't come out of that strap. like that. So knowledge is not about information and memorization, like I said. Rather, it is about exemplary personal character. Please understand this point. If you understand this point from chapter 13, it's going to make you a different person and you're going to do amazing things in this world. So you have to have good personal character and practical behavior. So achar and prachar. When you have good personal character and practical behavior, that's called achar. That means you like acharya, you can become acharya. That's achar. And prachar means now you can speak properly because you will understand knowledge by realization, by revelation in the heart from higher living entities, like the spiritual master, the acharyas, the Supreme Lord, the incarnations, like that. This is the essence of these middle five verses in this chapter. And so one who nurtures a saintly disposition like this experiences a change of heart which disentangles the eternal soul from the deep-rooted identification with the body, the temporary dress. We're deeply, deeply rooted in this identification. How many times we can catch ourselves thinking, oh, I am Indian, I am a Democrat, I'm a Republican, I am this, I am that. This is all deep-rooted material identification. Not easy to let go. Even subtly, we hang on to these types of identifications like that. A man, a woman, dog, cat, like this. American, Chinese, Indian. So these 5 verses are very, very important for that purpose. And so this actually gives us the items of knowledge. And then the next 7 verses, so 13 through 19, talk about the soul and the super soul, because Arjuna, of course, asked those questions as well. Having described the Kshetra, Kshetra and Jnana, Krishna now describes Jnana, the object of knowledge. So the purpose of knowledge is to realize the soul and the super soul, who are eternally individual but intimately related and connected. That's the purpose of knowledge. Know the soul and the super soul, who are intimately related and connected. It is the prerogative of the soul, that's who we are, to understand the super soul, but the super soul is sometimes described as avijñā, meaning unknowable. So how to reconcile this? How? It's unknowable. How are you going to know something? So empirical researchers, they try to fathom the supreme using mundane logic and material sense perception, like that. They get baffled, they can't figure it out. And sometimes they come to the conclusion, there is no God. Sour grapes, can't get the grapes, so there must be no grapes there. Now the grapes are sour. And the super soul remains unknowable to them. However, those who approach the subject matter with the proper attitude, Prabhupada said, the secret of success is a humble attitude of service. What is the proper attitude? That happens when you're ready and willing to gain the insight through the eyes of the acharyas, through the eyes of the teachers. Then you can be very successful. Then you surely will be very successful. Even Brahma is an amazing person, very amazing person, very intelligent person, very passionate. He's a lot of passion. He can make things happen, can create an entire universe. That's how smart he is. What can we create? We can only take something created, transform it something else. But we can't create anything. We can't go like this and do like that. Even if you do that magic, you haven't created it, you just moved it from one place to another. Just like some people, they do magic, they put their hand like that, and some gold comes in their hand. But what they did was they moved some gold from some other place who lost it, and then they got it there. So the other place lost it. That's not creating, that's just transference. They look like magic to a person, it's not magic, it's just cheating process. So, but actually, great teachers can reveal. So when Brahma could not create, and how long he could not create? He couldn't create for 3,000 kalpas. One of his days is one kalpa. For 3,000 days, Brahma could not create of his time. By the way, his one day is our one kalpa, which is 8,640,000,000 years. The 4 yuga cycle, 1,000 times during the day, 1,000 times during the night, that's one kalpa. Multiply that by 3,000. Brahma couldn't create a blade of grass, and amoeba couldn't do anything. Became very frustrated. He turned to his spiritual master, told him, you have to call Krishna, you have to chant. To the tapa, tapa, tapa. That was chanting. So he chanted, became successful. Krishna came. And he gave an instruction which is called the Dasamula Tattva. In Brahma Samhita, you will read this Dasamula Tattva. Back in India, they make a medicine called Dasamula Tattva too, because that one medicine can solve any problem, any disease. Dasamula Tattva, like that. So there are 10 instructions in the Dasamula Tattva. The first instruction is you should understand reality by hearing from, learning from, taking advice from, understanding the mood of and the instructions of the Acharyas. Brahma was the first person. Who is the Acharya? Obviously there's Acharya. Who is the Acharya? His Guru. She came and told him what to do. Then he did the right thing. Then Krishna came. Initially there were those two Acharyas, but now we have a whole line of Acharyas. Luckily we have a nice line of Acharyas. And we have some Acharyas on the planet now who can guide us nicely, perfectly, how to advance in Krishna consciousness. Like that. So this is obviously very important set of verses, 14 through 19, 13 through 19. And then in the final 16 verses, Krishna talks about two items, the Prakriti and the Purusha. Because these two are enjoyers. We all like to enjoy, right? That's what people want. How can I enjoy? Okay, let's talk about the enjoyer. Because then you can understand how to enjoy it. So the conditioned soul desires to control and enjoy matter. That's us. We are the conditioned souls. We try to control and enjoy matter. In fact, we even try to control other people. So this matter is called Prakriti. And it is this enjoying spirit that binds this Prakriti is the conditioned soul. So it's this desire to control and enjoy matter that is actually binding the spirit soul to the material world. That's what's binding us. This enjoying mentality is binding us like that. The super soul, on the other hand, is the real enjoyer. It's called the Purusha. Prakriti and Purusha. Purusha is the supreme enjoyer. Now, sometimes the soul is also called Purusha because soul is mini Purusha. The real Purusha is actually Krishna himself. And that's the super soul, because super soul is the expansion of Krishna. Is the actual enjoyer. Everything, material nature, individual souls, are ultimately meant for his enjoyment. So that material nature and the soul is trying to interact with the material nature, enjoy the material nature, but both of them really need to be serving the super soul in our heart and Krishna, like that. So the example is given, just like when you pour water on the root of a tree, it energizes the trunk, the branches, the twigs, everything. Or like filling the stomach enlivens the senses and the limbs of the entire body. Similarly, offering worship to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for his pleasure and satisfaction, automatically satisfies all living entities, including the individual. This is the process. But this is why we're very fortunate that Srila Prabhupada came to the West and gave us this information. Other than that, I'm for sure, I'm very, very clear, I would definitely be heading towards some very powerful help. Because, my nature was like that, and I wanted to really enjoy it. I wanted to be the king of the world, emperor of creation. This is the nature of the soul. I have a small idea, big idea, like that. This is our nature. And then, we're doing some really nasty things as a result, because we thought that's the best way to become a great leader, to become a powerful person. Everybody can bow down to you, like that. But this is a huge mistake. Fortunately for me, Krishna taught me some hard lessons and showed me this is not the right way. And fortunately for me, I was also worshipping great personality, Lord Shiva. And so Lord Shiva told me, you're on the wrong track here, bro. You need to turn around and worship Krishna. Then I will become happy. Because I wanted to please him. But at the same time, I wanted to be the greatest person. This is how normally things work. was not different from most people, bigger rascal than most. So then we learned this. Then we learned from Bhagavad Gita, we joined Hare Krishna movement, and then Hare Krishna movement taught us these things. The devotees taught us, the spiritual master Prabhupada, other devotees taught me. And as a result, today I have some understanding that actually helps me become a happier person and actually get out of this entanglement and not get entangled in the situation of the world. So this is the same for all of us. And all of us have this opportunity. Some of us have taken advantage of this opportunity. Some of us are in the process of taking advantage. It's the same thing. Those who have showered, pretty much are ready to get out of the shower. Others are entering the shower. It's the same thing. You're in the shower. Whether you're finishing off early, you're still in the shower. So some of us are finishing off now. Some of us are starting. Some of us are somewhere in the middle. So wherever we are makes no difference. Understand this point very clearly, that the purpose is actually to have the soul and material nature, who are right now separating themselves from Krishna and trying to enjoy it, creating a big mess. And then we see what type of results we're getting in this world, lockdowns and this, that, and the other. Or we turn towards Krishna and say, really, because the soul will not, it clearly says in these verses, the soul will not be interested. The soul is not interested. The soul is not going to take part in this process of enjoying with the material world. It is actually the mind, the senses, the mind, intelligence, consciousness, particularly the mind. Mind is the king of the senses. The senses are the ones that are ruling us. They're like serpents, out of control. And the mind is the king of them, king serpent. Really giving us, biting us and giving us a lot of problems like that. So we can't do that. We have to understand the soul is not interested. Soul does not do. It says very clearly in these verses that actually that the soul is actually doing nothing. It's simply the activities being performed by the body. The body meaning the senses, the mind, the intelligence, the false ego. These are the body. There's a gross body and subtle body. They're the ones who are doing everything. The soul is just doing nothing. And if we know this, then what is the purpose of the soul? The soul is who we really are. So then what is the purpose of the soul? The purpose of the soul is to love Krishna. It wants to love Krishna. That's its greatest happiness. That's what any soul wants to do. Whether they know about Krishna or don't know about Krishna, makes no difference. Every soul, whether that soul is any of the 8,400,000 species of life, has only one purpose, and that is to please and love Krishna. Then that soul feels great happiness. That feels great satisfaction. This is the key word in life. Suprasiddhati. Suprasiddhati. Prasiddha means to become satisfied. Suprasiddha means complete satisfaction, completely satisfied. Prema Turiya, like that, real love, deep love, intimate, deep love with Krishna. So this is chapter 13. And like I said yesterday, I'm going to give this much description, and I'm going to allow you to please say something, ask questions, because then we can go deeper into whatever the question asks, and that makes it a little more clearer, or whatever is related to this, because there are lots of things we have in our minds, that people think about. Like, why am I not successful? Who is really doing? Is it my past karma that's allowing me to succeed now? Or is it Krishna blessing me? Or is it both of them together? And all these wonderful thoughts are there in us. What is the answer to this? This is chapter 13, giving the answer, as I just described right now. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam.
Hare Pranam, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much for the class. And I've just texted in the group. If anybody has questions, please go ahead and put your name in the chat box. You can type the question or put your name so I can unmute you so you can ask the question directly. Either way is fine. Chandramohan Prabhu, you're next 1 second. I will allow participants to mute themselves. Okay, Chandramohan Prabhu has one question. Go ahead, Prabhu.
Yes. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.
Thank you for giving the nice class, Prabhu. My question is, when somebody does some karma, you get your aton, like somebody does a murder or something. Now the court or judge gives them judgment and they go to the punishment, atonement, whatever you call it as. But still they get the karma, Prabhu.
Yes, yes. The way the karma works is that court decision that the court gave, right? If you've done murder,
I'm just going.
and says
This is not the way you do.
I wanted to read.
you also have to give up your life. You know, the court takes your life as well for the life you've taken. Then the karma washes. But you definitely get the karma. And if the court doesn't do that to you, gives you life imprisonment or something like that, then in your future lives you have to pay by also giving your life up. Somebody will kill you also. That same person may kill you, or somebody else might kill you. But the point is, the karma will not get all washed away. The karma to get washed away has to have full consequence before it washes away. So if you don't get the full consequence of what you're doing, because you never know how much pain you cause other people as well, right? Say when somebody kills, not about you, but somebody kills somebody else, there may be a lot of pain caused to a lot of people, not just to the person who died, in the sense that the person who died, you cut their life pattern, you sort of intervened. And because you intervened, you have to suffer the consequences. You have no right to intervene in somebody else's life pattern. But the point is that when you kill somebody, chances are a lot of other people might get affected by that. Like if he's a great boss, the business may stop, employees will lose their jobs, the wife may suffer, the children may suffer, country may suffer, so many things may happen. Right? So all that you have to account for in your karma. So really, karma doesn't always go away by a court decision, but sometimes it does, because the courts actually give decisions like that. But unfortunately, today the world's not learning things properly. So people argue that you should never take somebody else's life. Even if that person took somebody's life, you should not take their life. So if there's no agree with that person, but I can also understand their point of view. Their point of view is you really might give the wrong decision, right? The person may not have killed, and you thought that person killed and you took their life. Well, then it's a little like, whoa, now you're in trouble because you took somebody's life. Of course, if you're doing your duty, honestly, you won't have the same consequences because you didn't knowingly kill the person. If you're reckless about it or negligent, yes, you will suffer. But if you were honestly doing your duty, and just like in a war, right? If a soldier kills another soldier, they don't get karma. If the soldier who was killing was performing his or her duty according to the law of the Vedas, like that. Does that make sense to you?
Thank you, Prabhu. Nice.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Chandramohan Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
We have a question from Tribanga Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
He says, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. How do we understand results/success we are getting in our life, material and spiritual? Are they based on our hard work and attitude, as motivational speakers talk, as in the brackets, or based on our past karmic reactions? Some call it fate. Or is success a combination of both hard work and karmic reactions? Sometimes we work so hard and don't get what we want and think we did not work hard enough to achieve our goals. Sometimes we get success easily. Over, Haribol.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you very much. Wonderful question, because this is something that a lot of people exercises a lot of people's minds. So again, as it was described in this chapter, the reactions that we are getting is a combination of the body dealing with material world, right? Dealing with the material world. So when the body and the material world interact, that is going to cause reaction. So some of those reactions are from the past. Some reactions are being created now. Some reactions will be created later. All right. So there's a combination of how these actually work, and what the soul is doing. The soul is the super soul is doing. The super soul is like the permitter, the overseer, the one that is actually allowing that to happen. And so a combination of all of these is creating the reactions. You see what I'm saying? And so, so basically, everybody is correct to some extent. The key thing to understand here is who is getting the reaction. This is the point a lot of people miss. People think that the person is getting the reaction. It is not the person getting the reaction. The reaction is being given to the body, to the mind, to the intelligence, and to the false ego. Remember, the soul didn't do anything. The soul didn't do anything, so how it can get reaction? The soul doesn't get the reaction. The reaction is to the body, but the soul is identifying with the body. And therefore, the soul is thinking, I got the reaction. You see? It's a little like this. You know, you really love your car, right? Your beautiful car. It's very expensive car. Costs $2 million, and they call it a Bugatti or something like that. $2 million. You bought a $2 million car, Bugatti. Probably the topmost car right now on the planet or something like that. I may get the name wrong, but anyway. So now you're driving that car and you're feeling like the king of the road because you got the most expensive car. And bam, accident happens. And you think to yourself, rascal, how dare someone hit you in the car? Don't they have any sense of how to drive on the road? And you get really mad, you bring out your gun and you shoot the person because you're so angry. Okay, now look at what happened here. First of all, it wasn't you who got hit, the car got hit, but you identified with the car. As a result of identifying the car, you became emotional, used that emotion, you killed somebody. Now what happens? First you lost the car, now you're also going to lose your life. You're going to lose your body. Somebody's going to hang you. You have to also go to the gallows. You think to yourself, wow, this world is such a cruel world. It's such an unfair world. Well, it wasn't unfair. The unfair thing that happened and the worst thing that happened was you were ignorant. And your ignorance created misery. Ignorance creates misery. That's what ignorance does. In this world, everything starts from being ignorant of our relationship with Krishna. Forgetfulness of Vishnu, it is described in our scriptures, is the cause of all miseries in this world. Why? Because we forget that the soul's interest is actually to connect with Krishna. You see? The scriptures use the word Vishnu because Vishnu is all auspicious. The word Vishnu means all auspicious. Krishna is the source of all auspiciousness, but it's also called Vishnu. All names come from Krishna. Others use it, but they got it from Krishna. It's just like if I have a son and his name is Krishna, it doesn't mean he's Krishna, right? He got his name from Krishna. Like that. So in the same way, he is Krishna in the sense his name is Krishna, so it's, but it's not original Krishna like that. The original Vishnu is Krishna. So the point is that the soul only wants to relate with Krishna in a union of love. That is its interest. That is its food. That is its happiness. That is its sustenance. That is its everything. That's why Krishna described earlier on in the chapter you read, Krishna says, I am everything. The beginning, the middle, and the end. And I'm beginningless and endless. So I'm everything. Everything emanates from me. Like this. So this is the soul. The soul is connected to Krishna like that. So who is getting the reaction is actually the body, the mind, the intelligence, false ego. The senses, mind, intelligence, false ego. They're getting the reaction. And they're getting the reactions because they are the ones who are playing a game with material nature. And some things they did in the past, some things they're doing now, some things they will be doing in the future. And others are also joining in. They're also relating with us. And then it creates a right complex mix of reactions that are going to come. Like that. And so this is what's actually happening. So the real thing is, our idea should be that we should understand that I am the soul, that that actually the soul and the super soul are actually indestructible. But the soul and the super soul are sitting in a destructible body. They're both indestructible. If they're indestructible, there's no question of failure, right? You can't die, you cannot be destroyed. Soul is amazing, it's described. So amazing. You can't even imagine how amazing the soul is, right? Chapter 2 started that. Soul is amazing. So then once you know that, the soul is amazing. The soul is not doing anything unless it's in relation to Krishna, really in relation to Krishna, not just imagination type thing. Then knowing that means you're liberated. Now you're liberated. And until you're liberated, oh, I'm liberated, whoever is liberated, we're going to mess up in this world. Sometimes it'll feel nice, sometimes it won't feel nice. Most of the times it won't feel nice. But sometimes that not feeling nice ceases for a little while, and we think, wow, it's nice. You know, the example is given of this two prison guards. You know, they want to punish this this criminal, so they take him to the pond and they hold him by the hair. I got no hair. I guess in my case they probably hold me by the ears or something. Always, and they dunk him underwater. And they hold him inside there underwater. This guy after a while can't breathe, so he's like shaking inside the water, can't breathe. And then they let him out and he breathes. And then they dunk him again. Again he can't breathe for a while. And then after a while they let him out again. He comes out and goes, breathes in. So every time he breathes in, he thinks, wow, this is happiness. I can breathe. I can live. I was dying. I can live again. But that's not happiness. That is simply the cessation of misery. Between 2 points of misery is not happiness. It's the cessation of misery. Happiness is positive. It gives bliss. It's ecstatic and it stays with you. In this world, no ecstasy stays with us. Last moments, fleeting, gone. More misery. Whereas eternal happiness is real happiness. So this is why Bhagavad Gita was spoken to tell Arjuna, this is the real situation, Arjuna. You're thinking not right. And therefore you're not interested in fighting this war. You're not thinking properly. Krishna gives him proper understanding. He understands and he's asking these brilliant questions. You can see by this point where I just raised and what came from. It was not my points, it's the points from chapter 13. How much clarity comes here. Who is the one who is doing, not the soul? So, does that help, Prabhuji?
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. Yes.
Thank you.
Done.
Thank you. You're a smart person, so you're figuring it out. You already figured it out, but it's good to ask it, because a lot of people are not figuring this. Even after it's being said, it doesn't make sense. And that's okay. Sometimes you have to hear a number of times, because we're so conditioned, we are so steeped in this interaction with the material nature. And then the next chapter is going to deal with the three modes of nature. And that's going to be very clear why we're doing that. These three are very powerful. They force us to do it. They're led by three very smart women. In this world, no real man, no matter how smart he is, can handle a real woman. Not one woman he can handle. Not one. Okay. Any honest husband will tell you. It's a fact. It's a good wife. Can't handle a good wife. Now, these three ladies are not just like wife. They're like the most powerful ladies. Mother Lakshmi, Mother Durga, Mother Saraswati. They control the three modes. And then they have husbands who are very powerful as well. How are we going to defeat the mode? Even that Krishna will let us know. Very powerful way how to do it. But here is giving us a clue. Think straight. We're not thinking straight. We're thinking, I am my senses, I am my mind, I am my intelligence, I am my false ego. And when you misidentify, you think you're the Bugatti, well, obviously you're going to have problems now. But if you think you are the owner of the Bugatti has an accident, doesn't mean you had an accident. It had an accident. You got an insurance policy, fix it, and drive the Bugatti again, or sell it, buy another one. You're rich. Buy another nice Bugatti. Why are you getting so angry and killing somebody else? But that's exactly what we're doing. We're using our emotions to harm ourselves and to harm others. Self-harm and harming others. Both are wrong. Because body does not belong to us. It is a gift from Krishna. Senses, the mind, intelligence, false ego are gifts from Krishna. False ego is created by ourselves, but it's still a gift from Krishna. Because it does help us in self-preservation. You have to look after yourself too. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Tribhuvan Prabhu. So, now, Arvind Balasubramaniam Prabhu has a question.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Please elaborate on Dasa Mula Tattva.
Oh, very
Is this an Ayurvedic medicine category?
Yes, it is in the Ayurvedic medicine category. Very good. It is. Dasamula Tattva is in the Ayurvedic category, but the Dasamula that Krishna spoke, based on which this medicine is being made in Ayurveda, because Ayurveda also comes from the Vedas, by the way, and Brahma Samhita is part of the Vedas. It's a Samhita. There are many Samhitas in the Vedas. One of them is the Brahma Samhita, is considered one of the most powerful of all the Samhitas. So, I'm talking about the Dasamula Tattva that Krishna spoke. He spoke 10 points, and at some point, I'm not actually remembering all the 10 points right now, but these 10 points are divided into 3 parts: Sambandha, Abhidheya, and Prayojan. Sambandha means they discuss relationships so that you can understand your relationships properly. Abhidheya means so that you can understand what to do, how to do things, called the process. And then Prayojan means you should understand what the result is that you should be aiming for. What is your target so that you will become fully successful? So in this 10 verses, Krishna speaks about that, and most particularly, the most powerful thing that he says is, it is the chanting of the holy names of Krishna that creates the best of all results. Even there, this thing is discussed. So if you want, we can, at some point, I will bring out those 10 points. I'll go back and read them up and then just tell you the 10 points. But you can go online and do it yourself. You can Google Dasamula Tattva Brahma Samhita, and you will see the 10 points that are being made. Very powerful. You should know those 10 points, because then it will make you convinced that Krishna consciousness is so beautiful and it is so sweet. Yeah, it's pure nectar. Just like, we like to drink nectar, right? So some nice drink. We like to drink nice drink. For some people it's liquor, for some people it's a fresh juice, it's a mixture of juices, or combination of juices and vegetables and water, all wonderful types of liquids. Milk is called Devamrita. But in the demigod kingdom, in Swarga, water is considered the most powerful of all drinks, even more powerful than pomegranate juice, this, that, the other. Here we just the opposite. Everything is more powerful than water. Pure water is the best. It's the real nectar of Krishna himself. That is why, it emanates from the toe of Krishna. And it came down in such a heavy way that Lord Shiva had to block it with his head. That became the Ganga. And there is no more powerful water than the Ganga. It's because Krishna bathed in the Ganga at a certain point, at a certain place. That place became known as, Ganga became known as Kalindi or Yamuna. Yamuna is Ganga multiplied 100 times. Like, it's the same Ganga water, but now touched by the lotus feet of Krishna. In this world, in his pastimes, he's ported there. That water became very powerful. Like prasadam becomes more powerful. Thank you, Prabhu. Wonderful question.
Thank you, Arvind Prabhu. Muralidharan Prabhu has some questions. Prabhu, you can unmute and ask. Thank you so much, Muralidharan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji, for continuing to enlighten us. I actually had one question and 2 doubts which came up from your discourses. The doubts are probably quicker if I can ask them. Okay. So one of the doubts I had was, a long time ago, somebody was telling me Jnana Yoga is actually higher than Bhakti Yoga. And at that time, I did not have much knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita to argue back, though from my understanding, I knew that was not exactly correct. But however, when you're saying Jnana Yoga, the first 6 chapters deal with Karma Yoga, the middle 6 with Bhakti Yoga and the last 6 with Jnana Yoga, this thought came to me. Typically, when somebody gives instruction, the final instructions are more important than the ones beginning and take precedence.
Very good point.
I was just wondering how to reconcile that. That is one of the doubts.
Right. And before you ask the next one, let's deal with this one.
Okay.
Basically, this is the difference between transcendental knowledge and material knowledge. In material knowledge, the final point that is made is called the conclusion, and the conclusion is considered most important, like that. But in transcendental knowledge, it doesn't work like that. Just like, for example, you'll see when the triumvirate is Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, right? So who's in the middle? Vishnu. You see, Brahma is on the right side of Vishnu. Vishnu is there in the middle, and on the left side is Lord Shiva. Who is the most important personality here? Not Lord Shiva, right? It's Lord Vishnu. So in the same way, when knowledge is given, knowledge is based on personal understanding. Just like we said here, it's not by cramming, not by understanding theoretically, but by revelation. So when a revelation is given, in any time you see 3 personalities, you will see the most important one will be in the middle. Give you an example of Sitaram and Lakshman. Where is Lakshman standing, and where is Ram standing, and where is Sita standing? You've noticed that? And you realize who is the most important personality between the 3? Lord Ram, right? And where is he sitting? Standing in the middle.
Right.
Knowledge. Knowledge works like that. Knowledge works in a personal way, not impersonal way. Impersonalists don't understand that because Krishna will not allow them to understand. Why? Because they come from the point of envy. They don't come from the point of open heart. Let's learn the truth. I'll give you an example. I saw this in personal example in my own family. Because my father, he was a very powerful impersonalist. Very powerful person. He knew every verse of the Bhagavad Gita by heart. You tell him chapter 13, verse 8, he'll rattle it off like this. He knew every verse of the Bhagavad Gita. So often we'd get into arguments about the interpretation, and his interpretation was impersonal, mine was personal. So then I thought to myself, I don't think I'm going to be able to convince my father because he thinks I am his son. What do you know? You were just born yesterday, man. You were born from me. I know more than you do. I'm your father. So I couldn't get past that argument, with him. I could tell him the soul is eternal. Anything I told him just didn't make sense. But one day an idea came. Beautiful idea came. Because Giriraj Maharaj happened to be in town. And Giriraj Maharaj was also an old person. So I said, look, this is sannyasi, right? Sannyasi is senior to you? He said, yes. So I said, why don't you talk to sannyasi? So I introduced my father to Giriraj Maharaj. And so Giriraj Maharaj and my father were speaking. So my father started arguing with Giriraj Maharaj. Giriraj Maharaj said, before we argue, I understand impersonalism, but I want you to understand personalism. Because when you argue with somebody, you should know their side of the knowledge. If you don't know their side of the knowledge, your argument will be weak. You agree with that? He said, yeah, I agree with that, my father said. Okay. So I'm giving you Bhagavad Gita. I gave him Bhagavad Gita. Okay. And said, you read the Bhagavad Gita. After you read the Bhagavad Gita, we will talk. We will discuss. Whatever the questions are, we'll discuss. Is that okay? He said, yes. He felt like this is a very nice person. My father really loved Giriraj Maharaj. He thought, wow, what a sweet person. He said, you are nothing like Giriraj Maharaj. I said, I agree with that. I have no problem with that. He's a great devotee. He's a sannyasi. He's a guru, I am nothing. So I'm okay with that. I'm so happy you met Giriraj Maharaj. So I'm thinking in my heart, I don't care what he thinks about me. I just want him to love Krishna. That's all. If that's the end purpose and achieved, heck, I'm happy. I'm the happiest person in the world. Finally, my father did the right thing. That's how he would think. So he started reading Bhagavad Gita. Then one day he said to me, gave me the Bhagavad Gita, said, here, you can have the Bhagavad Gita. And I said, you finished reading it? That was fast. He said, no. I said, so what happened? He said, I was reading it. And I got very scared. I started reading and I started thinking, wow, this is really questioning my belief. I'm starting to doubt myself, he said. I'm getting scared. I don't want to get scared. You can keep your Bhagavad Gita. See? Impersonalists don't want the truth. They're afraid of the truth. When you present them the truth, they'll run away. The typical answer will be that transcendental knowledge is avachaniya. Avachaniya means cannot be spoken. And then we say to them, since it is avachaniya, why are you speaking? Why are you speaking? We're speaking because it's not avachaniya. We're speaking because it's achintya. Bheda bheda. So we can explain achintya bheda bheda. But you can't, because you are avachaniya. You shouldn't speak. Zip your mouth. Sit down and listen to people who can speak. These type of arguments we used to have. So impersonalists, they understand jnana to be greater than bhakti because they think bhakti means some type of practice where there's abomination, because a lot of times people say that they are devotees, but their behavior is very poor, bad behavior. So when others see bad behavior, they say, how can this be religion? That is why in chapter 13 it's made very clear, if you really want to understand knowledge, you must have good character. See? Your activities should be clean. Then you will really understand this, because then it will be revealed in your heart by a higher living entity understanding that you are humble, you're honest, you're a nice person, you should know. See? So this is how the process works. So we are personalist. Middle is supported by servants on both sides. Like that. So jnana and karma are servants of bhakti yoga. Krishna himself says that. That's why he describes chapter 9 as most confidential. Not karmis and not you jnanis can understand bhakti. You have to go past those two to get to bhakti. Just like primary school student, high school student cannot understand university level knowledge. You have to come to university, then you can understand university level knowledge. Thank you very much. Second question you had? Second thought?
Yes, thank you so much. I really wanted to comment that was a great strategy to give the Bhagavad Gita to learn the counter arguments so that you can have good arguments.
This strategy wasn't mine. I didn't think of it. It was a brilliant idea.
I really enjoyed that. Thank you. The second doubt which came to my mind was the other day we were talking about worship of demigods, and you said, that the different kinds of people are catered to, and that's why there is a recommendation in different parts of various worship of demigods.
Right.
It came to my mind in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it starts off by saying we should offer our worship to Lord Ganesh. And in my mind, that book is meant for devotees. So can you clarify that, please?
Very, very good question. This is a big doubt that a lot of people have. So Ganesh ji is actually the remover of obstacles in the material world. So devotee, there are some principles in devotion life. One of those principles is utility is the principle. Utility is the principle. There are like 4 points that are made, right? Preaching is the essence, purity is the force, books are the basis, and utility is the principle. These 4 points are made, right? So utility means how do you do things in your life in a way that there will be good result. That's called utility. And since utility is the principle, so then basically what you do is that since Lord Ganesh is giving blessings to people so that the obstacles can be removed, we also have obstacles, right? What are our obstacles? Our obstacles are spiritual life. In spiritual life, there are many obstacles. There are material obstacles, spiritual obstacles in spiritual life. And we want them to be removed. So that is why Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu says that we should actually worship Ganesh. Now there are some technical reasons also, other technical reasons. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is Radharani. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, nectar of devotion, is actually Radharani's word. This is Radharani's nature. And Radharani one of the persons who love Radharani the most is Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva took his name from Radharani. Shiva is Radharani's name. And that's why Lord Shiva took it. He really loves Radharani. And Ganesh is Lord Shiva's child. So when you really love somebody and that person is a child, that person is like your grandchild, right? So here, the relationship is like Ganesh is the grandson of Radharani. So obviously there's some love there, you know what I mean? And there's a combination of these relationships. So there's a real technical point there, but that's not the reason we give when we speak. But the point is, there are many good reasons why Ganesh is also considered Lord Nrsingadev's leading devotees, one of the leading devotees of Lord Nrsingadev. He actually uses tumalai that comes out from his trunk. He puts them under the feet of Lord, under the feet of Lord Nrsingadev, and he pulls the energy of Lord Nrsingadev into his, and then he uses that to give auspiciousness to the world. So we are also Lord Nrsingadev's servants. We're servants like that. He's our Lord. We worship him every day. So obviously, Ganesh, he can help us like that. Get that energy of Lord Nrsingadev so they become bold preachers. You know, you can become fearless. You know, Krishna consciousness like that. So these are some technical reasons why that happens. But you know, you don't see in Bhakti Rasamrita or any other demigods being mentioned. That's the only one that's mentioned. He's the only one that's mentioned like that. He has a very specific purpose there. Otherwise, Lord Brahma is senior to Lord Ganesh, also Indra, also Lord Shiva, like that. But there's no advice given that you should worship these persons. Does that make sense to you, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, thank you. My dandavats to you. You have an answer for every question. Thank you.
I don't have an answer for every question. The
No,
people
but you really satisfy our mind. Thank you.
I'm like a biomedia. I like the copper wire. I just transmit. I don't have, this is not my intelligence working here at all. I'm just a lowly soul, you know, lowly jiva. But I decided in my life I wanted to become a biomedia, like, you know, act like the copper wire from the power grid to the place where the energy is going. I help also, just one of the people who helps. A lot of copper wires in this world. I'm one of the copper wires. That's all.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Can I ask my last question, if there is time?
Please.
Thank you. So the last question is a little bit of a morbid question. I mean, we have heard the art of living, but essentially Krishna conscious is the art of dying, because we are preparing for death throughout our whole life, and it's something we don't want to think about, but with the current circumstances, we are forced to think about it. You know, it can be around the corner for any of us, and more for some of us. So my question is, we have some idea how to approach this when somebody, if they're fortunate, they're going to leave the body, you know, we are given the opportunity to hear the mantra, devotees pray for us, but these are peculiar times. We may be intubated and ventilated. We have no opportunity to think of the Lord. Our relatives, devotees, and well-wishers cannot be even by our side these days because of the virus to you know, chant and help us on our next destination. And so how should we prepare ourselves? How should the devotees help others? And 3, if you are a devotee doctor serving, how can you facilitate things?
Yeah.
If you can kindly enlighten us, please.
That's again a brilliant question. Oh, you guys could ask very nice questions, really nice questions. So art of living is like a yogic process, you know, just like people, you know, Baba Ramdev is another good example. Yogic processes, you know, they help us take care of the body a little nicely, take care of the mind nicely like that. So these are bodily concepts. Purpose is so that you know, your body can be healthy, wealthy, wise, like we say. So healthy, perfect. So basically, utility. I've been through hard living myself, even after I became a devotee, to just see, was there anything there that I could benefit? I also went through Baba Ramdev. See, was there anything there that I could help? And there were things that helped me. And today helped me, like, for example, one of the things to keep yourself healthy in these times is to be able to do good, strong breathing exercises, You do nice breathing exercises, that's very helpful. The constitution becomes stronger, immunity rises, and that is itself helpful in these times, because those with low immunity can get attacked faster, right? Now, it doesn't stop a person. A person can get COVID-19 even without, can get coronavirus, even with good immunity, you can get it. But the point is, it helps. All the things that you do can help. So in that sense, our living helps like that. But it's basic level. It's what we call metaphysical level knowledge. You see what I'm saying? Good for metaphysics, but nothing to do with spirituality. Now they do say it has something to do with spirituality and transcendental life, because you like to upgrade, right? You like to be considered as you're there with with those on the top level talking about consciousness at higher level. So you're sort of with the A team, you're playing the A game, like that. But it's not. It's a C game. Higher than that is the B game, which is spiritual life, and higher than that is the A game, which is transcendental life. So it's like primary school, high school, university. It's primary school information, but primary school information is also helpful. It's not, can't discount it. You don't have to go through that primary school, go to other primary schools as well. There are different ways you can learn this, you see that thing. But pranayama, things like that is there in Ayurveda. Like that. That can also teach you the same thing. They have different names. They do the same exercise. They call it different names, and they make it slightly different. So they think like you think, okay, the art of living created that exercise. No, these are all there in the Vedas teaching, in the teachings of yoga. They're all there. It's just that the smart yoga teachers, they want to do what the material world wants to do, which is become a Hiranyakashipu. How do I become the next Hiranyakashipu? Because Hiranyakashipu is the one who owns the three worlds. Because these guys don't even own 3 streets on this planet. But anyway, that's another story. But the point is, that's their aim. The aim is, how do we become a great, well-known person, worshipped, beautiful women hang around me. These types of games they play. But they do actually spread some information that is useful. On a metaphysical level, this information is useful. And so what we do is, there's a saying for devotees that devotees sometimes has to pick gold from a dirty place, like that. I'm not saying art building is a dirty place, but I'm saying that to the extent that they espouse spirituality and transcendental life is bogus, completely bogus. They have no idea what spiritual life is. If they knew anything about spiritual life, the person would not have promoted art of living. He would have realized, I should never have done that. I should have promoted Krishna. I should have promoted Vishnu. I should have promoted Rama. Something like that. They do speak a little about that because they want to gain credence and credibility. They do realize that these persons are great. And of course, they call themselves by such names as well, like, the word Shri in front of their name and things like that. So anyway, these all things happening as well. There are many such players, many, like they said, India has many gods. So these are the modern material gods. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Muralidharan Prabhu. Dandath Pranam. Prabhuji, is 9:26 and we have a few more questions. Just giving a heads up. Arun Priya Mataji has returned. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for your wonderful explanations. The explanations of how to control envy was very good. What is your suggestion to control anger?
So anger comes because of, you have to see the cause. You see, what is the cause of anger? Anger is caused by the non-fulfillment of a desire. When some desire is not fulfilled, it causes anger. And then the anger leads to frustration, you see. And then frustration leads to loss of memory. And then loss of memory leads to utter destruction, like that. So it's step by step by step as described in Bhagavad Gita. So the first thing is that, when you're angry, try to think to yourself, what is my desire that is not being fulfilled? And if that desire has nothing to do with pleasing Krishna, then you're wasting your time getting angry. You know what I'm saying? That anger is not going to help you. But if the desire has something to do with pleasing Krishna and you're getting some anger, that anger is not considered a bad thing. It's actually something that's transcendental. And so idea is to use it to increase service to Krishna, but not to harm others. That's the idea. So you control it in that way, that you use it to do service. Like Arjuna, when he got angry, used it to kill the soldiers on the other side, so dharma could be established. You see, but he didn't do it in a way that might create adharma, like that. So same with Hanumanji, like that. So and then now, just generally speaking, how to control anger is actually to speak to somebody with your specific purpose, specific situation, because anger comes from many different ways. So somebody who knows how to handle nature, like that, then you speak to that person and say, this is the reason for my anger, this is what I get angry about, this is how my anger happens. And then that person can actually guide you how to control it, and like that. There are many nice processes, one big powerful process called anchoring. And so if you do anchoring, it will control your anger. Anger is what is called a limiting emotion. Some emotions limit us, like anger, fear, anxiety. They cause us to do less, limits us by creating issues in our lives. So this is called limiting emotions. So if you want to control limiting emotion, you do a process that's called anchoring. You can ask me that separately outside. I'll show you how to do that. And once you learn how to do that limiting emotion, you can handle any other limiting emotion. And then, you can bring it under control. Anger is important, fear is important. Just like, if you don't have fear and a lion comes in, I don't have any fear, I'm going to put my head inside the lion's mouth or put my, you're going to get pretty badly treated. So certain types of fear, anger are good for you because that allows you to correct yourself. But it shouldn't be a limiting emotion. That's when anger becomes a problem. Thank you very much for that question. And then the next question, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, I want to quickly add one comment. I just remember from Guru Maharaj, which was my screensaver for a long time, which really helped me a lot. He said, instead of tit for tat with devotees and family members and all, treat fire with water, he said. So, so if a person is already angry and is in fire, you add more fire, it's not going to help. Instead of that, he said, treat fire with water.
And the anchoring process, they do a similar type of thing. What they do is that every negative emotion, strong negative emotion, there are many positive emotions, right? So they overlay the positive emotion on the negative one, the negative becomes weaker, you see, like that. So those positive ones are a little like water, they'll help douse the other one. So very good point.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji, Arun Priya Mataji. Next question is from Rajesh Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavats, for the wonderful class and answering all our questions. My question is, we hear a lot of time people say, Manav Seva is Madhav Seva. That means serving people in need, serving God. Could you please help understand it in sense of Krishna consciousness?
Thank you very much. Brilliant question. This is a very important question because if you don't answer this question properly, people are not going to accept. So Manav Seva means taking care of ordinary living entities, and Krishna Seva, Madhav Seva means taking care of God. You know what I'm saying? So if we understand that God is the sum total of all living beings, then your question becomes, are you wanting to serve just a few people or you want to serve everybody? If you want to serve a few people, it is good for you to do Manav Seva. When you do Manav Seva, Krishna becomes very happy with you because they are his children. You see, if I have 100 children and you have 2 of those children, I will be happy. Those 2 got some help, right? I'll be a little unhappy. The other 98 didn't get served. And those 98 might get a little mad at you too. Took care of 2 of them, didn't take care of the 98. So this is where the mess happens, the messing up happens, you see. That the understanding should be, why not help all the children? Why only help some of the children? Just like, most of us have more than one child. If you have more than one child, you want all your children to be happy. Why only some? Or at least let's agree, in the family there's more than one person. our idea is that we want every person in the family to be happy, not just one person. So if we think making one person will make everybody happy, it doesn't work. You have to make everybody happy to make everybody happy. Just like when people are hungry, 100 people are hungry, you feed one person, you're not going to make 100 people satisfied. In fact, you're going to make it very dissatisfied. Only one person got the food, you didn't give us the food, you rascal, they're going to go after you. If you want to make 100 people satisfied in terms of their bellies, you better feed the 100 people. And the beauty of Madhav Seva is when you serve Krishna, all living entities are being fed. Even the ones you don't know, even your forefathers, everybody being served, which are not served, by the way, when you do Manav Seva. Your forefathers are not going to be served by you doing Manav Seva. They're going to be happy with it. They'll bless you, but they're not going to be served. So if you want to serve everybody, including your forefathers, including all the demigods and demigoddesses, and by the way, if you don't serve them, these demigods and demigoddesses get pretty angry. When they get after you, you'll be in big trouble. Then you'll forget anything about Manav Seva or Madhav Seva. Everything will be gone. So learn the truth and work on the basis of the truth. That's the idea. This is what we have to tell people who speak like that. These people are, parrot passion studying people. Somebody said it, so everybody repeat. Like, there was one saying in this world at one time, don't worry, be happy. I remember I was a little younger at that time, I think in high school. Don't worry, be happy. So everybody started singing this song, don't worry, be happy, don't worry, be happy. And then suddenly people found out they got into a lot of trouble. Because you're going to have to worry about some things in your life. You can't say, oh, COVID-19 is happening, don't worry, be happy. Yeah, and then when you catch the COVID-19 and your parents start dying and you start dying and everybody starts dying, you won't be very happy. Then where did it all go? Don't worry, be happy. Suddenly you find it's not don't worry, be happy. You have to worry when you need to worry. So in the same way, there is Manav Seva, Madhav Seva spoken by people who don't have much intelligence. This some cheater guru came up with this word so he can become a smart guru because he says some smart thing. Everybody thinks very smart, right? Like there's one time, how they used to promote Lord Shiva's they say Bam Bam Bole. Krishna is Bam Bam Bole. Now what does Bam Bam Bole mean? Bam Bam? Lord Shiva never says Bam Bam Bole. Say that to an American person, Bam Bam Bole. They'll think, why are you talking about my rear end? So, we have to understand things properly. This is the nonsense of this world, unfortunately, a lot of nonsense. But we can scientifically explain that Manav Seva is not Madhav Seva. Madhav is sum total of everyone plus. Even if you served everybody in creation, you still have not served Madhav. Why? Because Madhav is way bigger than the whole creation. Remember I was saying? The whole creation can fit like a particle of dust on the planet, on the unlimited planet of Madhav. So you take care of one particle of dust, you're taking care of the whole planet? Of course not. So this is, people don't understand these things, so they speak nonsense like that. And we can explain to them that, please, learn the right thing, become truly happy. Otherwise, this is why you're in the material world and you're going to stay here. You're going to come back in the next life, next life, next life. You're going to remain in the Samsara Chakra. Now, people do say that because they want to serve other people, which is good. You should serve other people. So they use Manav Seva, Madhav Seva, so they can make people serve. So, okay. I guess, utility is the principle. Used it to make people serve. But Manav Seva is Madhav Seva is absolute total false statement. Absolute bogus statement.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for the question.
This very strongly because in the future people may hear this recording and criticize that this boy is so rascal. He criticizes AOL and other people and this, that. I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm speaking the truth and therefore I'm saying what I'm saying. I have no interest that I become popular or well respected or loved by other people. I'd rather speak the truth and know Krishna became happy than, just be very political and politically correct and all that. I'm not interested in being politically correct. I'm an old person. I've got very few years to live before I leave my body. I want to speak the truth, and that's why I'm saying those things. I'm not trying to be heavy. Every person is very worshipable. I love everybody. I think everyone is very great. I am the rascal in this world. I'm the one who is the lowest of everybody, that I don't come from the angle that I'm greater than others. So please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm saying this, if we follow these things, we will become truly happy in our lives.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
So now the next question is from Rupanuga Prabhu. If a person suffers no more than his reactions required, why would another jiva have to suffer? If he brings suffering to the other person, isn't he simply the agent and not the cause?
No, he is the cause also, because the other person is identifying with him.
Mhm.
It's again back to reactions. You see, and who is identifying with who? So if a child is identifying with a parent and someone hits a parent, the child may start crying. You see what I'm saying? My parent got hit. You see what I'm saying? My parent got hurt by somebody else. So the child's hurting is also going to be the reaction of the person who hit the parent. Why? Because there was a relationship there. And because when there are relationships, it becomes a complex situation. So in that complex situation, yes, you are the agent, but you are also the perpetrator. Not just the agent, you're also the direct perpetrator of that situation. In the sense, who is the direct perpetrator again? Not the soul. Again, let's see who we're talking about here. We're talking about the senses, the mind, the intelligence, policy. But they're direct perpetrators and indirect also, both. Thank you very much for the nice question.
Thank you, Rupanuga Prabhuji. Dandavad Pranam. There was one comment from Arvind Balsubramaniam. Earlier he had a question and you answered it. So he replied as a comment. Jai, thank you, Prabhu. Blown away by the depth of your knowledge and its interconnected application and sharing with us. Dandavad Pranams.
Dandavad Pranam to you.
Yeah, and then Darshi Mataji, Vrindapriya Mataji has given a comment. Very sweet story about Giriraj Maharaj. Thank you so much for the nice talk and for giving us your time and association every day. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for giving your time and association also. The blessings of all of you that allows me to speak, Krishna doesn't allow just anybody to speak like that unless he sees that he is happy and his devotees are happy and you are his devotees. So, your happiness is actually allowing me to say something. Thank you very much for that. So I'm indebted to all of you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, and the last comment today is Arun Priya Mataji, who just asked the question. She said, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I think we have covered all the questions, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your patience.
Thank you for your patience. And so we will all chant together now again?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Chanting together is very good.
Yes, that's fine.
Thank you.
Namaste Narasimhaya
I hear
Jai Prabhupada. Maharaj, Jai Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada.
Today darshan will చాలా కలర్స్.
Prabhupada, Guru Devani, Sai Gauranga, Hari Hari Bol.
Hari
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Maharaj ki jai.
Jai. Jai.
Kalpakirvasya kipasindhu bhevcha patitanam.
Jai.
It's a wonderful class, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. We all love you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Please try to turn on your videos for even 30 seconds if possible. So Nityananda can see you all and I can see you all. You all can see you all. Hare Krishna Das Prabhu, thank you so much. Jai. Today we can see Hamsadutta Prabhu and Mataji. Hare Krishna. So nice to see all the devotees. Wow, we have Sucharya Mataji Darshan also today. Jai. See her? Let me see. She was just here. Hare Krishna. Madhura Sindhu Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Jai. Sundari Priya Mataji, Hari Bol.
Some of you have already become deities now, I noticed. Nice deities.
Yeah. Hey, Tribhanga Prabhu, I can see you too. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat. Hare Krishna Mataji.
All together.
Jai, so nice to see the devotees.
Hare Krishna. Same here. Same here.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
especially in this lockdown time, if you get darshan of devotees, that's so amazing.
The best. The best.
Here is the Sucharya Mataji. You all can pay obeisance to her. Hari Bol. She is the disciple of Srila Prabhupada, as we all know. So we are very fortunate to have her association.
Yes.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for a very wonderful class.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Please stay safe, stay happy, and keep chanting Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And if possible, please watch the
So
movie
let's chant for
Prabhupada.
all the Corona patients, Prabhu.
Let's chant Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
I think these next 2 weeks, especially, people should be very careful. This is like the last 2 weeks, I think. It's going to be really bad. Then it'll start getting better, but still will be very dangerous. But at least the worst of the 2 weeks are coming. They're still on the way. So please be careful, very careful.
We're at the peak. So please do more kirtan. We'll have one more international Japathon, very big one on April 18th. So I'll invite all of you. Please join.
Yes.
And we'll keep chanting and we'll continue our Bhagavad classes.
Yes.
Thanks. Thank you so much, Nityananda
Thank
Prabhuji.
you, Prabhu, for the nice class.
Thank you.
Hari Bol. Gauranga.
Gauranga.
And Prabhu, thank you.
Gauranga.
Oh,
Nityananda.
Hare
Jai,
Krishna,
Jai, Hari Bol.
Sarvajaya Madhava Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Is there a japa session every morning?
We were doing it, Mataji. We're going to continue from maybe from day after tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll try to do something. Tomorrow, I heard His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj is going to visit North America. You're most welcome to join. And he's going to meet
I don't know
everybody.
how to. Could you send me how to join? I don't know how to join.
I'll send the link, Mataji. Yes, Prabhuji, Nityananda Prabhu, you were saying something? Nityananda Prabhu, you were saying something?
I was saying he's coming in person or online?
He's coming online through Zoom, and he said that he's going to visit each and every house virtually.
Wow.
So actually, he's been doing that all over the world. He's talking to almost 150 to 200 devotees within an hour to hour and a half, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes. And so far, he has talked to almost thousands of devotees around the world, motivating them, helping them, guiding them.
Very nice. Very nice.
And here is Anand Mataji. Kuruma is
You know, I
singing.
just came for my, sorry that I'm looking like this, but I just came from my job. I'm working now. And I have no idea what time is this meeting. Sorry, I apologize for my ignorance.
Mataji, tomorrow it's going to be at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time.
And then California is?
California will be 7 a.m.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Mataji.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Good to see you. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Will you send the link?
Dandavad.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
So where will you send the link, Sarvajaya Madhava Prabhu?
I will send it to you directly, Mataji.
Okay.
Kaivalya, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Dandavat.
I hear Kaivalya's voice. Then how I get off of here?
You have to just turn it off.
Wow.
Top right hand corner, you can see leave. Click on that button.
You see three dots. You see 3 dots next to. Just put it on the top right corner.
Okay.
And then you can say stop video.
Oh, yeah. Leave. Okay.
Yeah, leave.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Hare Krishna
Hare
Sarvajaya.
Krishna. Dandavat.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. It's so nice. We should have same type of system in Krishna consciousness. Just come in and no exit.
No exit.
Yeah. That's really Krishna's system, once you get in, he won't let you out.
Yes. Yeah. So tomorrow we have a special sandwich prasadam. I think this is some kind of burger, veggie patty. If anybody wants to order, please post in the group and we'll figure out if some devotees can pick it up.
Nice.
Thank you so much. Hope to see you all tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hari Bol.
Yes, Nityananda Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Yes.
Sarvajaya Madhava Prabhu ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hari
Thank you so much. This is such a great program.
Hari Bol. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna
Arvind Prabhu.
Prabhuji. Thank you. Good night.
Nice questions. Thank you. Dhanavad. Muralidharan Prabhu, thank you so much. Ecstatic questions. Please be safe.
Thank you, Prabhu. Dandavad pranam to you
And
too.
thanks for your services. Please join tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Guru Maharaj is going to come and hopefully he'll talk to you for a few minutes.
Nice.
To get the update and take his lessons. Thank you so much.
Okay. I'll log in. I'm working, but I'll log in.
Yeah. Log in from hospital. You can bless the patients too.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
Hare Krishna Bhaji. Thank you, Ashutosh Prabhu. Hamsudhu Prabhu, thank you so much for turning on your video today.
Thank you, Hari Bol Prabhuji.
Thank you, Bhaji. Rama Mataji, thank you so much. Please join tomorrow.
Thank you.
I'll send you a link also. Maybe you can update Guru Maharaj from Dallas, about Dallas.
Yes.
We'll be very happy to hear from you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Harish Prabhu, thank you so much.
So very much. Thank you all very much.
You're welcome, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare We'll end the meeting now. Thank you so much. Good night. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.